Welcome back. Welcome back to the Willis Podcast. How you guys doing this evening? How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing good on this Saturday. Yeah, I'm bringing it to you live again, right now and today. Today's show, the Cost of Honesty show, be honest with you. You see the exclamation on the end? That's the shit that people be like, am I really being honest? Probably not. See, we're gonna jump right into this motherfucker because it's quite necessary. See, I've been on a journey today, spiritually, uh, a spiritually, mentally uplifting show because I spent it with my kinfolk. So sometimes you got to understand how people are on their journey to evolve. They say when you are in need of a teacher, they will appear. Those are facts. Let me exchange how exchanges work. My uncle, he looks a little older than me, not by much. He tells me I look like a, a, a late 20 to early 30-year-old with gray hair. And I tell him, well, Unc, you just look timeless. Because he does. The way he was able to transform and take care of himself, man, I'm telling you, man, the cost of honesty is priceless. The cost of honesty is priceless because when you are completely honest with yourself about everything in yourself, the truth and the teacher will appear. That's a fact. It's spiritual, man. If you're not understood and connected, with truth and spiritual actuals, the things that I discovered today, I'm gonna tell you the fundamentals. With me and my uncle, I'll tell you something. Let's start with how you classify uncle. First of all, that's one of my daddy's best friends on the planet. They respect each other, thoroughly love each other to this day. No, he's not my dad's, what you would call, biological brother, but my dad has no biological brothers because he only knows me and connects with me from my father's side. So my uncle stays about less than a mile from me. He got an accident Friday of last week. I communicate with him. We had recently reconnected because when I was single, we hung out all the time. And we did so much shit together. It was fun. Because my dad lived with me for damn near 10 years. So we was always around each other a lot, but we also saw each other's growth. And this man have always, it just, he didn't lose his vigor. Pure man, pure spiritual God. Like he's a spiritual God at this point. Like he's a shaman, you know. So my dad's friend he grew up with, I didn't actually ever would imagine that my dad's friend would be an actual shaman. Yeah. 70 years old, look 50, everything that he says he can do, he's a manifestation of himself, through himself, by himself, for himself. Charming. We lost contact. I knew he lived in this area, and I've always said I wanted to stay on this side of town because that was like this sharp uh, pensity that I had in myself. I want to stay on this side of town. I want to stay on this side of town because there are a lot of connections that I have on the side of town that I'm at because it's, as far as like rooted uh, ancestry as well. See, I'm going to have a sit down with the state of Georgia to allow them to know uh, I allow myself to know the inhabitants of my ancestors here because Georgia, my wife is from Georgia. My daughter was born in Georgia. I'm from Pensacola, Mound Builder, but I have Powhatan, Pamunkey, Muskogee, Blackfoot, Creek, Red Stick. I have ancestry here. I have ancestry that goes all the way back to, you know, Lake Lanier, Oscarville, Crosby, 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 Crosby. Yeah, I say Crosby because Crosby has some West Indian roots. Will Crosby had a West Indian father. He had an American mother, but he loved being like his father. He was a Barbadian. I told you I had no Africans. I never said I didn't have any West Indians. So the Barbadian Will Crosby is actually American, unruly American that came back to America, Maracas. And that's when he met because his mama is Penny Hill. Mama Penny Hill. His mama's an American. Daddy was foreign. Daddy was my grandmama said he was Jamaican or Haitian, but I found out he was Barbadian actually. So my homegirl, Nakia Shorts. Shout out to Nakia Shorts. When I was at third battalion, no, not third battalion. That was no. When I was at eighth communication battalion, she used to call me a Haitian. I was like, girl, I'm not a Haitian. My grandmama's an American Indian. She's American, and all my people that I used, she said, you're a damn. You look, I'm from Florida. She said, where you from? Where you from? I said, I'm from Florida. I say, so how about Haitians look like me? I don't look like a Haitian, but I don't have no problem with Haiti. Nevertheless, but it's the fact that the even my brother Laurie Elliott, props to my homeboy there, like we had connections, the fighter spirit. But people didn't understand is we fought in wars together. Flurbo, another Haitian. We were Maroons. See, we are Maroons. Maroons that became Marines. My homeboy Bertram Griggs, Lando, Clarice, and Norris. Yeah, that sounds like Star Rush, right? That's his real fucking name. He's a superhero looking nigga too, for real. He's my brother. He's an American Indian. A lot of American Indians, uh, our parents gave us these names of the new, but we knew well we are from of the Anu due to understanding how not to mate with each other. That was extremely important of how not to mate with your cousins, not to mate with your family members, not even to mate with your third cousins, because how important it was to amalgamate the likenesses of the kingdom within through not blending but connection. You don't blend, you connect. See, when people have that's specifically how my wife and I were able to be a union. And let me explain how. See, when you have rooted experiences, how you were specifically raised, regardless if you agree or not, or how, what was good or bad, but how specifically you were raised and what time periods had to allow those specific behaviors to even make the best of you. Now, I've told you, by today's standards, the things that happen to Amarucan or American or Black American or Aboriginal Black Americans, we learn things twice times over. What does a twice times over mean? You know how The CIA, FBI, they do that double talk thing. Well, we had a double talk solution. So, in a multitude of ways, so it's probably like triple, quadruple talkabouts. We're gonna call them talkabouts. So, if you think about how we really in the 70s and 80s, we used to say shit like because out of fear, because if you think about it, let's study this real quick. You'd be like, why your hair look like that? I got Indian in my family. I got Indian in my family. My grandmama witnessed that. My grandmama was in high school. She learned in high school that she was not from Africa. She was indigenous to the Americas, and she started learning about the Americas. She was so interested in how the world was changing in the 1900s. If she's 84 years old, you can understand she was born in the 1930s or early 40s. I think 41, 38, something like that. You have to understand that the great people of the Americas have a memory. We not only was the kinky hair indigenous aboriginals, we're still the kinky haired aboriginals. See, you have to understand what true identity and what uh, 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 when we become and when you have the absolute privilege as well as the internal expression to want to be with the person that you want to be with and absolutely having a 90 nature from the inside and that distributes out. Think about what that can possibly mean. That's purity. That is indigenuity. It is making a decision that is proper, well, and well thought out. You don't connect with anyone or marry or be with anyone that you don't think that you should blend well with, meaning combining DNA and attributes. And while we always had those discussions at the table in the American, the Amaru kitchen table, do you understand? We completely understood that we were at a particular type of point in time. I can't say war because it was a way of life. So if war was a way of life for the American Indian that was told they were so many other things, Negro, black, color, let's go with mulatto, let's go with any other damn term that was thought about. See, the problem with other people thinking, the problem with paper genocide, it is particularly the result of making up terms for other people. It's like me calling a Spaniard, Italian. They're gonna be offended by that on a continuum. But you're all European, so Spaniard, Italian, who gives a fuck? Whatever, who cares? Like you're Italian, Spaniard, who gives a fuck? You British, Italian, you just European. But I'm from Italy, who gives a fuck? You're a Spaniard. You see, I'm from Italy, who gives a fuck? You're a Spaniard. You're all lower Europe, who gives a shit? I'm Sicilian, you're a Spaniard. I'm Italian, Sicilian. You're gonna keep calling me Spaniard, I'm gonna fuck you up. Of course, you're gonna feel that way because this person is not even acknowledging who you really are. So let's take African American. African American. The whole term is fucked up. There's no such thing as an African and an American. Bullshit. There are Moroccans and there are Ethiopians or Nigerians or Ghanaians or Burkina Fasoans, uh, South Africans, Tanzanians, uh, just like here in the Americas, there are Haitians and Jamaicans and Panamanians and Algerians in North Africa. You got Colombians. Well, I wonder why their name is Colombians. Huh, shit. Anyway, it's what people embrace and what the majority of people have embraced, and then that also has another effect, right? Like you have the pale complected Latino culture, right? They pale complected and they feel like they should dominate. But then you have the Afro Latinos. It's like, well, damn, y'all don't dominate everything. You're just very nasty to the darker complected people that you love taking from. See, last night's show, I was telling you how the hypocrites have always taken pussy and lied. See, people want. See, the problem that I got with the Republican Party is some of the ideologies are good argumentative points. They are good things to argue about so we can make a better America, make a better America. But when you don't, if you don't have a proper, uh, if you don't have a proper premise to argue upon, then why are you saying anything? How about you should take and practice in the ability of learning for a change? See, the problem with I've noticed with a lot of Europeans, period, not just European Americans, but that's who I've had most of the experiences with. But even, and I won't even be so shallow, Africans and all people that come from other nations, there was quite some time uh, 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 where they felt that Black Americans, oh, because the first experience that they have had was with white Americans, and it was like Americans are just not that bright, and we're like, hey, America is not a monolith. Okay, so if America is not a monolith, so you mean Black Americans don't think like white Americans? Absolutely not. If that's the case, it's two Americas. Oh, two Americas, you say? Yes. It's called the indigenous have-nots and the invading haves. That's what it's always been. I'm keep in mind, I'm from Pensacola, Florida, and you may say, "Well, mind you, this is well, what? What is it? It's not the fact that history will repeat itself, and I think that's what a lot of some people get in their brain. History only can repeat itself when there's no awareness. But when the awareness is present, history repeating itself doesn't have a chance because all history repeating itself strength is unawareness. You see, when you're aware of something, you can't unhear it. You can't make it as if that didn't happen, or it doesn't matter, or no, I didn't mean it. Yes, the fuck you did. It already exists. It's out here. Yeah. So nowadays, people want the right and the ability to not only say how they feel, live how they feel because they want to keep it real. See, there's really a specific problem with that connotation. Does it involve hurting, harming, injuring, or dispelling anyone else from doing what you want to do? Follow me. Come on, chum chum. Follow me. Check this out, pimp. If you gonna sit up here and think that you get the right or have the rights to degrade other people because you feel like it, what if that cost you your life? These examples have been uh, very prevalent as of late. Also, what if, we're just speaking of what if, right? What if you stop figuring out new ways to hate? And if you want to hate anybody, whenever you feel that gumption and that ability, I just want to hate this fucking person. Why don't you say, I want to look in the mirror and hate myself? Because that I don't know that person. I have no dealings with that person. If I had a conversation with that person, maybe I could get to know that person. Maybe that person has something that I need personally, not pervertedly. But maybe they can offer me something for me to heal my internal damages. Just from words, calculations, visibility, and what you display. Isn't that what a doctor does? See, some people don't take the responsible approach of getting you back to your primordial self. I'm taking that leap just by having a conversation with you or you listening to the Willis podcast. I told you when you buy my clothing, you're not going to feel anything that's itchy. No, you're going to feel the energy. You're going to feel my creation and why I had placements of even my logos or why I chose specific clothing items. It's a new world. It's a new algorithm that's purveying continuously. What we have to do is prepare ourselves for the future. What is at stake? I'm going to give you another show later, but I'm telling you, the cost of honesty should be something. Mm. The cost of honesty is absolute, unadulterated freedom in oneself, for oneself, by oneself, through oneself, with oneself, for, again, oneself. Therefore, the distribution in the collective Those people that you collaborate, connect, appreciate, love, shall benefit because you have no malice, no ill will. Oh no, man, they don't do that. You don't get down with malice, ill will to nobody. If you focus on being the best version of you, that's not where your mindset will ever take you. Sometimes when I express myself on this show, I only talk about the possibilities of reality. I will join you later with another podcast, but I think we're going to end this here because honestly, it's just that to be respected. And it's something that I have to cut off right now so you can think about before I come on to my next segment. I appreciate you. Uh, I'm grateful for you tuning into the show. I had a great day. I'm going to get into more of that too. And that's why I got to cut this one short and I'll be back. I got to change my shirt, get myself into another space to come on again. But I had to touch bases with you. It was quite necessary. I promise you it was. It was, very fruitful. Grateful for you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And that's the end of this show this evening, not tonight. We'll be coming back on again with some other things because we got some more energy to get out for sure and for real. But I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you. And I see you soon. But you know that's the favorite part of the show, right? You know how I get out. The world is yours. See you soon, my peoples. I love you. And I'll be right back at y'all ass. Peace.